Look at it, everybody. Now, I was talking about zucchinis once they reach a certain size and they start to form seeds, that if you wait too long, it'll force your plant to go neutral and stop producing fruit and flowers and all that. So we're going to take a look at this one. This is the biggest one I picked the other day, and we're going to see if there's any seeds in it. What we want is nice flesh all the way through. At the end of the harvest, then what you want to do is let your zucchinis, pick about 10 zucchinis and let them go for the gusto. Let them grow and grow and grow and grow until your plants are dead. Then you harvest them big zucchinis, and you harvest them for their seeds. And what you can also do is you can use your dehydrator, cut it into small bits, dehydrate it. You can grind it down into a fine powder and actually make zucchini flour. But today, what I want to do is we're going to check this one out for seeds. I'm going to pick a couple of these for a stir fry for tomorrow. Then I'm going to pick one or two to keep in the fridge, just to eat on its own in salads. The rest, I'm going to dice it up very small, put it in my dehydrator. That way we can keep that for when we make all kinds of vegetable soups and stuff. It's great. You get a lot of vitamins out of it. And you know what? Between the turnip rutabagas and between stuff like this and carrots and celeries and all your garden variety vegetables, when you compile that and make yourself a nice soup, there's nothing better. So anyways, for now, let's take a look at what's inside this one here. And I'll be using my Kansbol. That's my Mora knife, and that's the one I'll be using. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer. I'll move this aside and we'll start harvesting and cutting down our zucchinis. Stay tuned. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose these four here, and this here is going to be for stir fry and to keep some for my daily vegetable salads. So I'll keep these four. I'll dice these ones to see, especially this one here, I'll dice that for the seeds. And then all of these I'm going to put on my dehydrator and start the process of dehydrating. Because by looking at my garden, we got a lot of work ahead of us between now and the fall. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to put these in the fridge and we'll start processing these. All right, stay tuned. All right, so these here are the three biggest ones that I harvest. So we're going to check the flesh of these and see about the seeds. So we'll just put these two aside and let's start harvesting this one. They've all been washed and now it's time to process. Again, Mora Kansbol. That's an excellent kitchen knife. The Scandi and the full flat. Works great in the kitchen. So let's take care of the Okay, we'll start off right down the middle. all flesh. Maybe right at the bottom, it's just starting with the seeds. We're going to take a look at that, but that's all flesh. So let's open that a little bit more. Okay, that has no seeds in it. It's just to say it's going to start probably in another week or so that would have had seeds, but I harvested before then, so that's not seeds. Yeah, it's all good flesh there. So if this one here has no seeds, the rest are probably good too, but let's take a look at this here one. Very nice. So again, one that size is still flesh. So you can actually let them grow a little longer in your garden. I know they say the best thing is between 6 and 8 inches, which is good, but you can let them get a little fatter and obviously a little longer, and you're fine. There's no seeds. So let's do this one. Let's check this one out. Again, all flesh. No seeds. So at least now I have an idea on when to harvest. So if my zucchinis look like that big, that's a good time to process it. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start dicing. I'm going to start filling my dehydrator. So just So basically what I'm going to be doing is cutting them all into strips, 1/4 inch. They're all in 1/4 inch strips. And then I'll also put a 1/4 inch that way also. So I got nice cubes. I find when you're doing 1/4 inch strips, they dehydrate even, and they're great in your soups, eh? I don't mind a chunky soup, but I don't like big chunks. So this here really makes for a good size. So what I'm going to do is dice them up the same way so that they're all 1/4 inch. See, for stir fries and soups, to me, 1/4 inch squares is the perfect size. It's going to rehydrate and it'll give you a nice thick soup. So I'm just going to continue stripping and dicing, and then I'll start putting it on my sheets, and I'll bring you right back. Okay, so I'll just put my knife aside. This is what I cubed up so far, and again, they're nice 1/4 inch chunks. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'll grab a tray. And I'll slide this across. Put the tray here. My dehydrator, it's Ivation. It's 9 trays. It's my 3rd one. And this is what I do. All right. So when I fill my sheets, okay, I'll fill my sheets. I use my hands to make a 90-degree corner. One bit of dust. Slide this a bit more. Just pat them down so that they're flat and they're not on top of each other. Now everyone that talks about dehydrating always talks about crowding, and you shouldn't crowd. Well, I've been dehydrating for almost 30 something years, and vegetables shrink, but I do allow space in between. I just make sure that they're not on top of each other. All right, there's my tray. I'll try and, okay, so I make sure the tray's full. Now, when you're dehydrating, you're gonna have a lot of shrinkage, right? Because I'm gonna dehydrate this at 131 degrees Fahrenheit, 8 to 12 hours. After about 2 hours, you're gonna have a lot of shrinkage here, so you're gonna have a lot of circulation. And as you've seen, in between the vegetables, you do have space. So that's one tray. I'll put it in the bottom. I still have all of them to cut and dice. I still have this here is full. So we'll keep filling the trays. Just pat it down so you make sure that they're not all on top of each other. Keep them away from the edge. You've got to have a little bit of a space because you've got to slide these here on the shelves, the shelf racks on the lip. So there's another one full, another rack full. Now, the machine I bought gives you two choices. One choice is the stainless steel racks. Okay, that's what I chose. I like stainless steel. And with this rack, I turned around and I bought these silicone mats, perforated. Them are the holes, and that's the size I'm cutting my zucchini, 1/4 inch squares. So I don't want them to fall through once dehydrated. So that's why I bought these mats. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill all the rest of the trays, and I'll show you what it looks like in a bit. Then I'm going to turn the timer on. I'll probably turn it on for 12 hours. I'll set the temperature at 131 Fahrenheit, and we'll see how it looks in the morning. But for now, I'm going to continue on cutting and dicing and fill the rest of my racks. Be right back. Alright, so the trays are full now, all 9 trays. So they're all cubed up. You can see they're all filled up pretty good. Alright, so this is the machine I have here. Now I'll just plug it in. Alright, so now we're going to set it, power on. We're going to go 12 hours. Then we're going to reduce the temperature to 131 Fahrenheit. So that's 12 hours, 131 Fahrenheit. Alright. So, we'll get back to it in 12 hours. Now, all I gotta do is put the lid on. Or the door. And now the door is on. So that's the noise. That's just the fan. For me, it's gonna be 12 hours. For you, it'll be seconds. Be right back. Okay, so right now it's been 5 hours. So let's just take a little look at it. I'm going to shut this down. And I'll unplug it. Just so it's not so noisy. Okay, so 5 hours. Let's take a look. Lots of heat. And as you can see, look at all the space you have around your fruit now. So, like I know, you know what I mean? When you watch a lot of videos, they say, oh, don't crowd nothing. You shouldn't crowd anything. It won't dehydrate properly. I don't know where they're getting their information from, but you've seen how much I put on my sheets. And look how they're dehydrating now after 5 hours. Now they're not crowded at all, eh? So, yeah, it's starting to spread out pretty good. It's starting to dry out. Oh yeah. So anyways, so that's 5 hours. So I just wanted to let you know, and you got to remember though, this machine, it's got a nice heat control. It's got the internal fan, and it circulates very, very well. So as long as you got a machine like that circulates with a fan, you can load your trays a little bit. If you don't have that, well then fine. You're gonna have to really spread out your whatever you're dehydrating. But for me, yeah, that's pretty well drying up enough to even put more on if I had to. But there you go. So anyways, just an update. I'll put the lid back on. Plug her in. Alright, so it was what, 7 hours? Yes. So, minus. And then temperature. Alright, so we'll let it finish off. But that was just an update. So when it's done, we'll continue on with the video. Alright. So the machine shut down. So let me just get back here and unplug it. Okay, everything's unplugged. Okay, let's take a look. Alright. There you go. Totally dehydrated. Now, I don't see no crowding on that sheet. What do you guys think? Right? You seen it when I put it in. And now that it's dehydrated, just to give you an idea. Okay. There's the, there's the other sheet. Lots of empty spots. Yeah. But she's dried good. You can hear them break and snap. So that's how I like to do them. Then I store them with oxygen absorbers. Put them in jars. And then when we ever make a vegetable soup, I'll grab a couple of handfuls of them, throw it in the soup. So anyways, you can see it was nice and dry. You can see all my shelves, how much space I have on my shelves, my racks, I should say. And you can see how I loaded them. So, like, they were loaded pretty good. Just to show you. You lose a lot just with hydration, dehydrating. It's a very high content of water in these. So you don't have to be careful when you're loading them. Long as they're not all on top of each other whatsoever, you could fill the entire rack. And then once you got it on there, just spread it out. If they're touching, that's fine. You just don't want any on top of each other. So you can see there, once it started shrinking, there's lots and lots of room for the air to circulate. Okay, I'm going to put you on the stand, and we're going to take a closer look at that. So just give me a minute. All right, just to continue on, just for a little bit of a comparison. This zucchini, okay, right here, was only this long. That's it. Okay, and that's the part I used to chop up this. So that little piece of zucchini is just this. All right, that's it. What you see here is this. What you see on this tray is 1, 2 and a half. If I cut another chunk off of this. This is 2.5 zucchinis right here. That was on each of my trays. Just to give you an idea. This one here was only a small little chunk of this. This one here was 2.5 full-size zucchinis. And that's what I got. So what I do then is I'll package them. I'll use my absorbers. So that's what I use. This here jar is a large jar. I'd use 3. All right. So once I'm at this state here, I leave it there because this here is going to be for my soups and my stews. But I want to show you something else. So let me just get rid of this. May as well make myself a salad after. But what you're going to see here in this jar, okay, is also zucchini. Now, this one here, for 1 cup of diced zucchini fresh, you need 1/8 of a cup of this here dry. So if you're going to make a zucchini loaf, muffins, cakes, or whatever, and it asks you to make, let's say, 2 cups of finely chopped, well then all you need is 2/8 of a cup of this. So that's basically how much it shrinks, eh? So let's take a look at this. If you can, find yourself all the old canning jars, the antique canning jars. I love antique canning jars for all my dry herbs and spices and whatever I got in the garden, but just to give you an idea, that's how fine that is. Nice smell. Now this stuff here, I keep for baking. The other stuff, soups and stews. It'll never go for waste. It keeps for a very, very, very long time. You will not be sorry. And you know what? Rather than have it in your fridge and go bad within a week, why don't you dehydrate everything? All right, put it on your shelves in your basement. I got something else I want to show you, but that's what I do with my dehydrated stuff. So that's just a short video, again, dehydrating zucchinis. But I'm going to end it off, and I'm going to show you other stuff that I dehydrate.